With all his bags packed and everything in order, Georg is ready to head off to Pernices. But before he leaves the area, he decides to check up on the temple and potential cult, only to find a family of bears has taken up residence in the building. Perplexed by their presence, he nonetheless quickly takes care of the pests. Next, Georg goes to check on Lady Dysek, stopping only at Lance and informing him of the free bear hides waiting in the temple. After making sure everything is going well with the pregnancy, and that the lady is neither possessed nor raving mad, he takes his leave. He reaches Thornwood that evening, and hears that Count Vicious has raised all his banners and is marching on Anvil, where Carrick has taken control. Troubled, Georg decides to find Baron Song in the keep and consult with him. He relays the news, but the nobles don't seem overly concerned, so he takes his leave after talking with Ark Ramdal about communicating while Georg was travelling. The next day he travels to Shirebrook, where he catches a boat, a little disappointed that Sheriff Bellows doesn't show himself. The oversea journey goes without trouble, and he soon finds himself in Pernices. He immediately starts his investigation despite the late hour. He makes sure everyone knows he's looking for Nancy Song, but learns nothing, so calls it a night. Next day he tries again, this time using magic, and manages to track down an amulet that was in Nancy's possession, though the amulet was now in the hands of a dwarven jeweller, who says a poor fisherwoman, matching Nancy's description, sold it to him. That evening, Georg procures a soul and uses it the next morning to cast past life on the newly acquired amulet. In the vision, he sees Nancy Song dying of starvation in the gutter, while her young child stands over her, watching. And he also notes a small town square with a wyvern fountain in it. With his new information, he goes to Bubba's Bar and Grill, where he learns that the fountain is in Pernices, in one of the worst parts of town. He also learns there may be a red-headed wizard called Marshall, who visits town occasionally. So Georg heads to the shit district, and after questioning some street urchins, he learns of a girl called Heather, who hangs out at a temple cemetery just outside of town. He questions the girl and decides it may be best to return the next day in order to properly examine the bodies. So in the darkest hours before dawn, Georg stalks to the graveyard and starts digging. He exhumes the first body and confirms it is that of Nancy Song. Before he can start on the second grave, he sees torches approaching from town, so he wisely uses Learmon's tiny hut to hide his activities. The mob arrives before Georg can finish his grisly work, and he notices the red-haired wizard with them, but continues digging. He casts past life on the bones in the second coffin, and has a vision of a bedridden man obviously suffering from disease in the company of Nancy Song. His job done, Georg casts fly and blasts off into the darkness of the night. He goes to track down Heather and convinces her she is a princess, and to return to Misty Rapids with him. They manage to book passage on a ship and leave Pernices behind them with no trouble. They safely reach Misty Rapids, and Georg introduces Heather to Baron Song and informs him of his mother's death. Georg also postulates to the Baron that Heather may be his sister. The Baron does not take the news of his mother's death well, so Georg gives him time to process it. Will Heather live a long and full life? What has happened in the barony during Georg's absence? What is going on in the temple? Let's find out on Dicing with Death.
Why, hello everybody, and welcome to Dicing with Death. Ryan, how are you doing this fine Thursday afternoon?
Doing well. Long time no see.
It has been a long time.
Good to be back.
Yeah. What's been going on in your world in the last 2 to 3 weeks?
I don't know. The usual. Working, a little bit of traveling.
Where'd you travel?
Nowhere far. Portland, Seattle.
Hanging out with Cheekers?
Yeah. Yep.
You know, Lauren and I were talking about heading up to Portland. Her brother lives up there, and one of our other friends from San Francisco moved up there recently.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hit Julian up. He's got a house, and
I know. I'm so impressed.
I know, right? What have we been doing with our lives?
Seriously.
Nah, I don't know. Watching him deal with the stress of home ownership, I'm actually not particularly jealous.
No, I'm so jealous right now, man.
You want to be dealing with expensive plumbing bills and
I am so ready to have my own house. I am.
Really?
I mean, not financially ready, but
yeah, is it worth $2,000 in plumbing repairs to get rid of your mom?
You know, get rid of all the parents, all the deal, like renting. I want to be able to you know what? This is my front yard. I want to tear it up and put it in a planter box here. I want to, tear down this wall and put in this building here. Like I am so ready to be done with renting and living with family members. You're
gonna break your house. You are not ready.
I want to tear down my walls.
Unlicensed structural alterations.
That's only a problem if you get caught or if it breaks.
Which are big problems. Well,
those are big problems.
Collapsing your house down on top of you is a big problem.
Well, yeah.
All right. Have you already fulfilled all of chat's burning questions over the course of your stream earlier today?
Not a single one.
No,
didn't come up. No one asked. No one cared.
No one cares.
But that's fine. We're here for Dicing with Death. We can talk about Burning Man 2016 another time on another stream. So people that are watching this in 5 years on the archives aren't like, what the fuck are they talking about?
I feel like that's the pretty typical response to what's going on here.
Yeah, well, I guess that wouldn't be too different than just running the normal show.
Yeah.
So let's talk Dicing with Death.
Yes, indeed.
As the recap just stated, you are in Misty Rapids. You have returned from your journey on far. You have brought Heather with you, introduced her to Baron Song, who kind of in a fury stormed off. Probably more furious about the death of his mother than about the acquisition of a younger sister.
Yeah.
And that was late at night on the 16th of July. So if there's nothing further you'd like to do that evening, why don't we just start when you wake up on the 17th of July?
Let's do it. I guess I'll share the character spreadsheet with chat now. Let's see if that link works. A big shout out to Eben. Is he a mod in chat?
No, he's a viewer.
A pillar of the Koibu chat community.
You really, I mean, you may be joking, but he's one of those people who steps up and helps out with things and contributes to the discussion. He is a pillar of the Regal Goblins community right now.
Yeah, so we haven't used this character sheet spreadsheet yet, but it looks like it will be quite helpful in helping me manage my inventory and my spells, and my notes and things. So we'll see. And it's also publicly available, so you can...
Do you have a link for people?
I think I sent it in chat, didn't I?
Oh, yes, you did. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
Take a look.
And we'll we'll see. I don't know. We'll put it on the Reddit at some point. And...
Accounting, deposits, withdrawals. Oh my god.
I know. Super boring, but at least, yeah. We should have thought of this 96 episodes ago, but now you can follow along with character sheet stuffs.
That's pretty cool. All right. So you wake up on the Sunday morning. It is warm, uncomfortably warm, also humid. It's raining outside. It's a light rain, but in the far distance you can see the occasional flashes of thunder, and you can hear the gentle rolling. I'm sorry, flashes of lightning and the gentle rolling of thunder coming in.
This storm rolled in last night.
Yeah. But it seems to be pretty far off. The soundtrack is not doing it quite justice. It's just lightly raining in your area, and the thunder and lightning is all pretty far away.
Why don't we... I was thinking a little bit about my morning routine and like doing maths on spellcasting memorization. So I think I can get away with deep pockets and a conceal alignment every morning. So that will be... So that's 50 minutes of memorization. Wait, those are both second level spells. So 40 minutes of spell memorization and 11 minutes of spell casting brings me into 51 minutes, which is under the hour that you have house ruled for still being rested. So every morning I wake up, I memorize deep pockets and conceal alignment. I cast conceal alignment upon the amulet, deep pockets on my robes, unless I'm trying to conserve golden needles for whatever reason. And I rememorize all of my spells for the day. So I can get full spell slots and still have those enchantments off. And all right. So after that little, and then there's probably another hour or so. I don't know exactly the difference between the spells that I have memorized now and the spells that I had memorized when I walked in. But so there's a few hours of some quiet Georg time in my room, alone in my studies and my thoughts. I'm not disturbed, I assume. There's no drama.
Do you generally do all of this? Do you wake up early to do this and then come have breakfast with everyone, or do you wake up, have breakfast, come back and do all this?
I think I do all this before even emerging from my room.
I guess what I'm trying to figure out is, do you eat with everyone, or are you the mysterious wizard who keeps in his room and eats meals alone?
I mean, I don't know. I think the usual. Yeah, I think I usually am very late. I think I miss breakfast.
Okay.
And I feel like we've role played that a few times, where like I come downstairs and like everyone is basically finished and they're just sort of hanging around the Great Hall. Or
I just wanted to.
I think I probably often wake up. I usually declare when I wake up early, but on a day like today, I sleep in. Whenever I wake up, I do my stuff in my room, and I probably wander downstairs at like close to noon, find some scraps that are still laying around the Great Hall or in the kitchen, and I guess see what's going on around the keep. See if there's any news, if anything crazy happened in my absence. I assume I would have been informed last night if there was any major news, but...
well, give me a perception check first.
Sure. Let's get these dice warm after a long holiday. Perception is 12. Oh, critical.
Nice. You quickly spot a gold ring around the left index finger of Baron Song.
Left index finger?
I'm sorry, left ring finger.
Left ring finger, okay. Are we in the Great Hall? Is this like lunchtime?
No, this would be breakfast time.
Okay. I'll ask about it. Like, I suppose congratulations are in order, my lord. And I like give a nod or a gesture to the ring.
Yes,
it's not a ring. Right, he's got, what magic rings did I give him? Well, he had that ring of levitation that I identified, and I don't know if does he usually wear that, or does he keep it?
Yes, he does.
Yeah. And then, wasn't there another ring, or am I blank?
There was it wasn't levitation, it was telekinesis.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. But same.
Mm-hmm. And that was his only magic ring, right? I didn't.
Correct.
Okay. I gave him he's got some magic shields and stuff in the treasury, but
Right. But that's the only ring.
cool.
Not that you need a lot of magic rings.
You can only have 2, right?
Right.
Okay. So I nod at the new gold ring on his left hand. I assume the telekinesis ring is on his right.
Mm-hmm. Yep. He nods, and actually, around this time, you see Lady Dysek with her distended belly walking around a corner towards you guys.
Oh, she is here. So I called on her, maybe that must have been a week ago, and she was at her manor.
Yeah, you left Misty Rapids 2 weeks ago. 2.5 weeks ago, actually. So it's been a while. Anyway, she walks around the corner, comes and wraps an arm lovingly around Baron Song, who doesn't really seem to react in any way to it.
Was there a ceremony?
She coos. Yes, it was a lovely ceremony. A little bit small, but I just couldn't wait anymore. And she looks up at him, and kind of blinks her eyes at her, bats her eyes at him. You know, it wasn't done quite as proper as it should. The Countess wasn't here, but there were so many things going in the way that those treacherous steam houses, their daughter, she says with a little bit of disdain in her voice, caused all sorts of problems with our plans. So we figured, my honey and I, that we should just make it done now and not to wait any longer.
I admire your pragmatism, and I'm sorry to have missed it. Is Heather at the table? Or here?
She is not.
Okay. Do I know where she went?
Haynes was going to take her to a room last night.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, well, Song has married Lady Dysek, which means she'll probably be dying pretty soon. I guess she's got to birth the heir first, but...
Birth the beast.
Whatever monster's growing inside of her belly. Can I clairvoyance inside of her belly? Would that be effective?
You could, but it would be dark.
Light.
There's no light down there. In there.
Yeah. So what is on? Am I working on any spells at the moment?
I don't have any on my list.
Okay. I would probably rather do some research, though. That's expensive. So I want some defensive spell. I want a shield and an armor. So I think I would probably endeavor to start researching those.
Okay.
What is it? Is it 100 to 1,000 per spell level? Do you remember how spell research works?
Well, let me open my handy dandy book on spell research.
And then, if I'm going to be here for a while, I do have some experiments with the amulet that I've been meaning to do. But I would first need some poor souls to experiment on. Need to refill the dungeon.
Yes.
So I think that. Oh, and then I'll get back to my water clock design, temple revamp. May invest some time in the cult. So there's things to do around town. I think I know you always throw wrenches in the works, but Georg's probably planning on chilling in Misty Rapids for some time.
And we have determined that you do have a large enough library to conduct magical research, correct?
Yeah, I think they say 100 books. I've got like 170 or something like that.
let's see.
Shield's library plus Bruce's library plus a few odds and ends I've accumulated.
Okay, it is 100 to 1,000 GP per spell level, above and beyond the normal maintenance cost for a laboratory. We don't do laboratory maintenance costs yet.
Is there maintenance? I thought there was just an investment fee. I don't think there's maintenance. I think the maintenance is the research costs.
Yeah. But it does say above and beyond the normal maintenance, but that might just be...
That's probably lifestyle expenses. And then I assume like the cost of spell research probably includes importing books or whatnot.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about that. Well, we may get there one day if it ever comes to it. Okay. So 100 to 1,000 GP per level. And what spells do you want to research?
Shield. I'll start with.
That's a first level spell, right?
Yeah. So are you going to roll a D10 times 100? Is that how?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't have my funds right now are 300 ish. Oh, yeah, more or less.
Okay, hold on. Here we go. Looking at the research library.
It's like a certain number of books per spell level, and I'm way above what I would need for my current level. And I'm sure by the time I have higher level spells, I'll have more books.
Let's see. Research laboratories, library. Unless they go to... Let's see. The single most important tool in a wizard's laboratory is his library. Every wizard has a library, even if it consists of nothing more than a spell book and a handful of old texts and journals. See, unless they go to extraordinary lengths to unearth, purchase, copy, or steal these books, their advancement in arcane arts comes to a dead halt. Blah, blah, blah. Library expense, the total investment the character makes in acquiring books, references, and other research materials. The initial library expense is simply the cost of the character's library, or laboratory. So if a wizard builds his research laboratory and then spends 2,000 GP on his existing library, he can research second-level spells. And then there's the number of potions and the number of items that you can get.
Based off the number of books you have or the number of gold invested?
The library size. So your library expense, your library size is broken down into 2,000, 4,000, 6,000, 10, 15, 20, 30, and 50,000 GP.
It doesn't have it by number of books or something? What was I...
Doesn't do by number of books.
What book are you? You're looking at the DMG?
I'm looking at the Spells and Magic, page 65.
Okay.
I would say your research library is well over 2,000 GP in cost.
Yeah, I mean, I basically skipped out on the cost by stealing Lady Redshield's library and laboratory and adding it to the small collection I already had and the blacksmith, the smithy at Misty Rapids. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I came to similar conclusions. If I need to research 5th level spells, we may need to go back and recalculate. But for now, I should have more than enough.
Yeah, I don't think there's any maintenance costs associated with any of these things. Let's see, Lady Redshield. So I would say your library right now is worth 5,000 GP.
Cool. I'll go ahead and jot that down somewhere.
That allows you to research 3rd level spells, up to 4 potion formulas and 3 item formulas. And then the more money you invest in your library, the greater spells, potions, and items that you can make. Maxing out at 50,000 GP, where you can research 9th level spells and any number of items or potions.
Okay.
Something else that you might...
Is the library laboratory all mixed together?
The laboratory is an amalgamation of a library and...
So that 5,000 GP is for both, correct?
No, that 5,000 GP is just for the library itself.
Okay. Does the cost of the laboratory change anything, or do you just need one?
I think you just need one.
Okay.
Yeah, so a laboratory has an alchemical, a forge, and a research library attached.
Okay, I don't really have the alchemical. Well, I have all the glassware. I don't know if I've exactly set it up. Oh, I remember. I was also thinking of expanding the Misty Rapids smithery, like excavating a basement and things. So I may also start some construction.
Right.
Make myself my own dungeon here. Although I'm also considering, as soon as I hit level 9, getting my own tower somewhere else.
Then moving everything over there. Okay, so let's figure out the time it costs to research these things. In addition to the cost, there is that time component. Spell research. Base time of research is 2 weeks per spell level. And base chance of success is 10% plus 1% per point of relevant ability score, plus 1% per experience level, minus 2 times the spell level. For example, a 7th level wizard with an intelligence of 17 researching a 3rd level spell has 10, plus 17 for intelligence, plus 7 for experience, minus 6% for 3rd level spell, for a total of 28% chance to learn a spell.
That sucks.
Character
Do you have to
level.
spend the money regardless?
At the end of each additional week, he may attempt the check again with another test plus 10% cumulative bonus.
So if you invest 100 weeks or 10 weeks,
Yeah.
what's the base time?
2 weeks per spell level.
So if you invest 12 weeks, you got a 100% chance,
Yeah.
something like that. Okay.
However, if the character ever rolls a result of 99 or 100 on his success, the DM may rule the spell proves unworkable and must be abandoned.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine. That all sounds good to me.
Okay. So I'm starting to research defensive spells, starting with shield.
Okay.
Don't want to get caught in a wizard duel without it.
So, shield is going to cost you D10 times 100 gold.
God.
You're probably going to need to make some money then.
There's a 70% chance I will. Or just launder more from the Misty Rapids fund.
Mm-hmm. You know, actually, I'm going to reduce these costs because I don't give out the same amount of gold that the 2nd edition books tend to give out. They just throw money at players. So one thing I was thinking to argue is that I should be able to add this to the cost, at least some portion of this, to the value of the library. Like if I'm spending 1,000 gold to get research materials to learn the spell, it seems like those materials are being added to the library. I would say some of it is bribery or whatever, like paying to bring them to you. But at least some of them will be consumed. But I definitely think that like 25% of your expenses should go to the value of your library.
Okay.
Does that sound fair?
I was thinking higher, more like 50, but I don't know that I'll take, yeah.
Why don't we compromise at 33%?
Sure.
All right.
And then I don't know if you could also just we could just make it 100 GP for spell level. Or do you like the idea of rolling?
No, I like the idea of 100 GP per spell level. The 100 to 1,000.
I think that it doesn't say roll. It says 100 to 1,000. And I think that's campaign specific. And if we're in a campaign world where PCs aren't raining in gold, which I certainly aren't, which I certainly isn't.
Yeah.
I amped. What's the? I am not. I amped. Drowning in gold. Grammar. English. I ain't got no gold. Okay, so 100 GP sounds reasonable. 33 of which gets added to the value of the library, which I guess is a pittance, but
yeah. All right, so it's going to cost you 100 gold for this sucker.
Mm-hmm. Should I subtract that now, or?
Please do subtract it now, just for ease of management.
Okay, so now the question: do I continue to record things on my character sheet, or do I just trust the spreadsheet with all of my wealth?
That is your call to make.
How does let's see. withdrawals, deposits. So I withdraw 100 GP. Hello. And okay, nice. Right now I'm triple recording.
Triple recording?
Well, because I've got noted on my the inventory sheet how much gold is in the wizard locked chest. I've got on my accounting sheet how much total gold I have, and then I've got my character sheet. Whatever. Okay. And then that will increase the cost of my library to 5,033 gold.
Nice.
I feel like there was a spell that I researched earlier, the water breathing.
Whatever, we'll just say that brought you to your 5,000 mark.
Whatever. Okay. So I get started doing that.
That will take you 2 weeks.
Okay. And is that 8-hour days or?
Yeah, that's like dedicated focus. That's your week.
Okay. Okay.
And you're learning shield.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, during this first day, this Sunday the 17th, you're working in your library, kind of going over all these different books, trying to find something that will unlock the powers of the shield spell for you when there is a gentle knock at your door.
Yes. I guess I stand up and walk over to the door.
Okay.
And open it if there's not a reply before I get to it.
Behind the door is Kell Crystal Keystone. He's dressed in a a heavy wool traveling cloak with all of her weapons and armor on her.
Mm-hmm.
She kind of looks around inside and motions with her eyes to ask if she can step in.
I give a nod and sort of step aside and shut the door behind her. I think this room is kind of cramped, especially I think it's basically, it was a small bedroom to begin with, and I've turned it into a library as well. So it's, basically a small closet full of books with a small futon that I sleep on in the corner.
Carl, I don't know if you've heard, but I am moving to Cauldron with the Lady Steamhouse.
I hadn't heard. This is quite a shock. Wait, what? Is the lady? Racking my brain for Lady Steamhouse. I thought she was dead. That wasn't the Steamhouse Red Shield Steamhouse. That's the Lady Steamhouse that I'm familiar with, right? And I burned her alive, correct? Oh, the daughter who is here.
She sees these
These
complex.
Tears are turning in my head. I may be mumbling bits and pieces of the thought process. Yes. Is this Lord Song's wish?
She kind of puts a hand on the door and closes it gently.
I had already shut the door.
Okay.
Which actually is probably a sketchy move considering it's wizard locked and I'm the only one that can open it. But fair enough. She's locked in here with me.
The Baron's song has...
Are you still in his service?
Yes. His wife has grown increasingly jealous and uncomfortable with Baron Song's relationship with Lady Steamhouse.
Don't worry, she's uncomfortable and jealous of his relationship with me as well.
Yes.
Or is there something else to this?
No. Well...
He hasn't taken advantage of the girl, has he?
She shakes her head. No, not carnally. But she is something else. She is not entirely there. Poor girl. She has a fragile mind.
Not all of us handle trauma the same way.
I have been sent to help her run Cauldron and act as the captain of her guard and gatekeeper till such time as placement can be found.
Have you been to Cauldron?
Some years ago, yes.
I found the place and the people, well, quite disagreeable. Are you confident that you can manage them?
I'm confident I can protect Lady. Yes.
Well, is there anything I can do to help? Is she still stoned?
I think you did stone skin her again.
Okay.
Yeah, with 5 charges on it.
Okay. So she still has thin skin?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She scratches her head for a moment. Says, I fear Lady Song's affections are growing out of hand.
They shouldn't be growing, but
well,
yes, it
you
is.
are a young boy, has not seen much in the way of pregnant women.
I bite my tongue, but yeah.
Combined with
Oh, you mean
what
growing?
I only assume to be your intervention in their happiness, and the darker deeds done by people we will not speak of, I worry for the Lady Song's mind. It's grown moody, more so than my sister when she had her child.
I nod. Yes, I've noticed this as well. Fortunately, she's just a moody noble and not a moody witch or moody vampire.
I had better get going. I just thought I would let you know. My replacement should be arriving today.
Well, I'm sorry to see you go, but I'm sure the young lady will be better for this arrangement, and perhaps you as well. I wish you all the best, and I thank you for this information. Is there anything specific you're concerned about with the Lady Dysek? It seems that we have made similar observations, and I will take heed, but is there something else?
I had overheard something a week ago or so. She was insisting that their wedding take place as soon as possible, and Baron Song had said there are too many details at work right now, too many gnolls to keep back. The hunt for Baron Steamhouse to continue. She threatened to throw herself off of her building with his child in tow.
Goodness.
Which I think is what pushed his hand into the rather short and abrupt wedding attended only by the staff here.
Yeah,
I fear she may do something foolish. Especially now that young Heather is here. Do you keep an eye out on the young girl for me?
I will. Yes, I'll keep an eye on Heather and the lady of the house. Garrick's racking his mind for magic that can patch up the problem, but that's probably a misguided method, considering that's what got us into this situation.
Yeah.
Yes. And Haynes too has taken a liking to the young girl.
She nods. That man may be a complete idiot, but he has a good heart.
Nod. Yes, he's probably better than we deserve, but no, we will keep Misty Rapids safe. Don't you worry.
She gives a brief nod and quickly turns to the door. Tries to open it.
I if I can we do like a post deck initiative roll? I would have tried to get to open the door before she got to it.
Yeah. Why don't we do opposed initiative rolls? Just a flat D10 then.
7.
No, she gets there first. Fiddles with it.
Allow me.
Stuck.
Excuse me, and I like sort of like step in and like I try and make it look like I'm, I don't know, whatever. I open the door for her. I'm wondering if I should like try and make it look like there's something to it or.
Mm-hmm. That's fine. You can rattle the doorknob a bit before you give it a good turn. Mm-hmm. She steps out into the hallway and disappears.
As she's like getting to the end of the hallway, I said, "Do you need to borrow a horse?"
She laughs.
Have a pleasant journey. I will send a letter in some weeks with an update.
Okay. Right.
Interesting. All right. This first day, since I got a late start, I will probably just stay at the keep and research. I may take a break at some point in the afternoon to go down to the laboratory and like poke around. There's probably like already an awkward excavation in the back where the unicorn was buried. So I'm probably sketching out in my mind how to like expand that into a full-on basement and like expand the forge itself.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Is there anything in particular you want to do, or should we just start skipping ahead days and weeks?
Yeah, probably that. So this first day, like I said, I'll stay at the keep all day and catch up on my research. The next day, I'll probably get up a little earlier and then take a lunch break into town.
Okay. The full moon is on the 19th. Is there anything in particular that you have about the full moon?
Should I?
Not that I'm aware of, but...
Am I a secret werewolf and I didn't know it?
No, but sometimes players have full moon activities.
No, I don't think I have any witching to do, but you never know.
So that week is kind of damp. It rains 3 out of the 4 days.
Okay. So the next day I'm going to head into town and probably check in with Vanessa and... God, what's the priestess's name?
Mother Emma?
Emma, yes, Mother Emma. And I do want some laborers. I don't know how to go about doing that.
Well, you have... Oh, I've already forgotten his name. What was his name?
Jebib was the face, the name of our interchangeable labor. I think he wasn't a redsmith, was he? Or was he just a carpenter or something?
No. Jebib was just a laborer. He was just a... Okay. That's all he did, was just basic labor.
Yeah.
No skills.
He dug great ditches, though.
Yes, he did. He has a ditch digging proficiency.
Mm-hmm. So I think, So I think on this trip to Misty Rapids, if I can find Jebib, I would like to find him and employ him more or less permanently.
Sure. This day, Monday the 18th, is swelteringly hot and humid. It's got a light rain throughout most of the day, but it's like 94 degrees.
Well, good thing I've got my magic synthetic robe that breathes perfectly, and even though it's black, I'm probably uncomfortable. I do summon how do I feel about being seen in town with my unicorn? I don't think I've done the unveiling yet, and I don't know if... Yeah. So I conjure my phantom steed and ride into town at one. And...
It's hot. It's muggy. It's
Is it
overcast.
raining?
It's lightly raining all day, even despite the ridiculous heat. I mean, it is the middle of July right now.
Mm-hmm.
And you do live along a river that is created by a hot spring. Not just a hot spring, but like a boiling geyser.
Yeah. Okay. So let's head into Misty Rapids. Can we get a map of the town, and then I'll figure out what order I'm going to do these things in?
Yeah. Bring up the map of the town.
All right. So Vanessa was next to the sheriff, I believe.
Yeah, I believe her house was like over here somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just doodle a Vanessa house.
Right, because her sister was the old sheriff, and I believe they lived next door, or at least on the same street in that same neighborhood.
Right.
I guess it doesn't really matter, the order. So I'll go check in with her first, see if there are any good rumors. I don't think she owes me any money. I can't remember what the arrangement was. I gave her those goods defense, but I'm pretty sure the arrangement was that was her reward.
Half of it was.
Half of it? Okay.
Yeah.
So I am expecting some cash.
Yes.
Okay. But it was off the books. As in, Lord Song didn't know that those jewels existed and didn't know that I was paying Vanessa behind his back.
All this stuff is on the correct layer. It's on the right.
And I don't remember where Jebib lives.
You never saw his house.
How did I find him?
You went down to the equivalent of the Home Depot, and he was just hanging out by the wall there.
All right. So if I see Jebib around town or anyone that knows him, I will try and track him down. And
Okay. Anyway, you get to Vanessa's place. You talked to her a long time ago.
Yeah, it's been like 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks.
Okay, so she should have all of your stuff done by now. All the fencing and selling of illicit goods.
That was it. Yeah. That was all I had asked of her. And I think there was a lot of subtext to our conversation. That I think the only request was that she fenced this and we split it. Right, so I park my Phantom Steed outside of her small house and give it the door a knock.
A young man opens the door wearing loose-fitting pants.
Hey, young man. I like a little bit surprised and a little bit kind of disdainful and look him up and down. Is he wearing a shirt as well or just the pants?
Just the pants.
Can we get a hotness?
Yeah, sure. What is that? That is a 15.
So Vanessa's attractive little boy toy is my summation.
I will let you.
I mean, I'm giving him the up and down, trying to figure out what sort of, does he look like a commoner?
He looks like a
he
well
hard?
put together. He's not a peasant, but he's a commoner, definitely. Definitely not a noble.
Does he look battle scarred or anything like that?
No, his skin looks soft. His hair is nice. Maybe a little bit ruffled, but it looks like it's well kept.
Is he wearing shoes?
No.
All right, so there's this like couple of seconds where I'm like looking him up and down, trying to size him up, a little confused that he's answering the door. I don't introduce myself, but presumably he knows exactly who I am. If he doesn't say anything in the first couple of seconds, I'll be like, is Vanessa home?
He smiles and calls back over his shoulder, "Milady, you have another suitor arriving."
I chuckle, I guess, a little bit.
He stands by the door, just kind of giving you a smile. And you hear some kind of bumping around. for a little while, and then eventually Vanessa steps into view, putting the last few buttons of a shirt together.
I use my etiquette proficiency to give an absurdly deep bow. Milady, I didn't realize your status had been raised since our last meeting.
You see her drop a few coins into the man's hand. Give him
This
a
is a
smack on
bad
the
time.
ass.
I can come back later. Nope, guess not. She smacks him out
Gives
the
him
door.
a smack on the ass, tells him to leave. He heads back in, grabs a shirt, and puts on some sandals, and heads out into the light rain of the day, where she motions you into her little house.
I follow her inside. Take a seat or whatever.
She starts making some tea. So, to what do I owe the pleasure?
Just thought to check in. I've been away for a few weeks, and you always seem to have your finger on the pulse of this town.
Sometimes more than others. Anywho, I presume you're here for a little bit of money.
Oh yes, I believe we did have some outstanding business. Have you gotten around to fencing the goods?
I wouldn't use those words, but yes.
What words should I use? I'm not up on my thieves' cant.
Oh, I've taken care of the business you've asked me to.
Does it comprehend language? It just doesn't cover thieves' cant, does it?
No. It's not its own language, it's just it's slang. It's not quite an independent language. It's context and subtext. Alright, it's got that smile on his face.
No, I'm just chat. I don't know what mod is finally starting to block these messages, but it's getting out of control, guys. Just make it stop. All right.
This is beautiful. They finally updated Twitch so that when a mod times someone out, I can see what mod it was that did it.
Don't out him or her.
No, he's a good mod.
But you can tell me in the break who our hero is.
Our hero should start upping it to 10 or 30 seconds.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, maybe even a minute or two. These people are being... They need to be culled from the ranks of chat.
All right. All right. So Vanessa was, what was she saying? She was teaching me how to be discreet about asking for my ill-gotten gains.
Mm-hmm.
I lost my train of thought. Chat broke my immersion as usual. Love you guys.
Right, so she goes and brings back a big jingling bag of money.
Mm-hmm.
And sets it down next to you. On a table while she's still making the tea.
How many pounds of coin?
Oh, that's a good question.
You don't need to. I'm not going to count it or anything now. I'm asking because I want to gauge whether I can discreetly stick it into a deep pocket or whether it's more than 10 pounds and it will be an inconvenience.
What did we say? 50 coins to the pound?
I don't know. I think 50
coins to the pound.
Sometimes we do 20, but I think we've done 50 here.
So she actually brings over a couple of bags,
Mm-hmm.
and sets them down. It looks like it probably weighs about 50 or 60 pounds.
Good Lord. Okay. In that case, I don't discreetly tuck them away quite yet. I kind of just leave them out there and I'll hoist them onto the horse when I get a chance. I do have an empty backpack in one of my pockets, I think. I mean, I have a backpack.
Pull the backpack out of your pocket,
Yes,
fill it with coins, put it on your back.
Yes, exactly. But I'll do that before I leave.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
So, what's new in Misty Rapids? I've been in Parnassus these past few weeks. I say that and then realize maybe I should have been more discreet about my travels, but for some reason I trust Vanessa to be distrustful or something like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
You can trust her in that she's gonna do what you expect she's gonna do, right? She's
which is look out for her own self-interest.
Mm-hmm. So,
for the time being, I think we have an unsteady alliance.
Oh, I haven't been around too much lately. I've been doing some jobs for friends.
Friend? Why, I'm so flattered.
And with that new wealth, decided to take a little bit of break from things. Time to enjoy life for a little while.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Basically, I'm looking for rumors from her. Maybe she doesn't have any. Maybe I just take my money and leave after a pleasant tea chat. But
yeah, she makes some tea for herself. She makes different tea for you. Doesn't even ask you what you want, but she just pours you some tea.
And I don't. Gare does not have an herbalism check. I could get an herbalism proficiency if I don't want my glass blowing. So I do have 2 empty spell slots. But for now, I can't roll an herbalism check to see what the difference was between the 2 teas. But
One day.
I do find that quite strange.
For you, Ryan, there's this new economics table that I've built that now includes all the spell components from the skills and powers and any other spell components you might use. So we have a cost, their scarcity or rarity, and how easy they are to acquire that you can just Google or search through with a Control F. I'm going to send it to you in Discord.
Let's see.
The bottom tab, spell components all listed on it.
Cool. Is there a short way to plug for viewers how to find this stuff? Like, are there links from regalgoblins.com?
I think on Regal Goblins, that's the economics page in the toolbox.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not on Regal Goblins yet, but it will be.
Okay, so check regalgoblins.com for this sort of for these.
Yeah, in fact, why don't I just put it on there right now?
We can do it after the show or during the break or something. Oh, awesome. Did you go through and do all of this?
I did. I worked my butt off for it.
Nice.
Here's something.
Yeah. So, all right. I don't need spell components right now, though. So.
Right. But that's just for you to play with one day.
Yeah.
Cool. Actually, you know what? We are about at our hour break, so why don't we...
So can we wrap up the chat with Vanessa? Was that the end of it? She doesn't have anything?
Yeah, that's the end of it. She's kind of been out and about and not home right now, so there hasn't been anything for her to...
Yeah. So I think, while she was making the tea, I would have pulled that backpack out of my pocket.
Filled it with...
And then before I leave, I'll throw the bags into the backpack.
Just so you know, you can add 3,000 gold to your character sheet.
Nice. And we'll probably keep that in the chest.
Okay, and that's going to be it for this first part of Dancing with Death. We got 3 more parts coming up, so stick around. We'll see you guys in a few minutes. Bye-bye.